Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a beautiful solid shampoo made with real hibiscus flowers. Not only are hibiscus flowers beautiful to look at, they are very well known for their hair care and skin care benefits. They contain constituents that really help the hair to lock in moisture, so it draws moisture in but also locks moisture into your hair, which can really help the overall appearance because it does help to smooth out that hair follicle. Hibiscus is also known for its ability to help with blood circulation in the scalp, which in turn can help with hair health and hair growth. Today we're making a solid shampoo because you can add more of the hibiscus properties to a solid shampoo than a liquid shampoo, and I really wanted to add quite a bit of those properties to this shampoo bar. Also, they are very eco-friendly and travel-friendly. You guys have seen me in the past make shampoo bars before on my channel using a press, a shampoo bar press. And today I wanted to show you a different way to make a shampoo bar where you do not have to use a press. This is a very simple recipe and I think you're really gonna like it. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a full step-by-step detailed tutorial and visual process of how to put together these beautiful plant-based shampoo bars. And if you would like the full written recipe plus a detailed written tutorial including amounts and percentages, please head on over to my Patreon campaign where you can unlock this recipe for just one small $5 pledge. Not only will that $5 pledge unlock today's recipe, but it will unlock almost 3 years now of archived recipes. Next month marks the 3rd year anniversary of my Patreon campaign, and I post weekly recipes and tutorials, so there's just a ton to take advantage of over there. In addition to this $5 tier, there are 4 other tiers to take advantage of, each with their own unique benefits. We offer things like bonus recipes, monthly classes, monthly live hangouts, gift packages, and also coupon codes to my favorite suppliers. There's just so much to take advantage of. I really hope that you'll consider joining. And I'll go ahead and put the link to my campaign in the description box below. So click on over there if you're interested, and I hope you enjoy today's video. Let's make some solid shampoo. Okay, so what I have here in front of me are all of the ingredients that we're gonna be needing to make this beautiful shampoo bar recipe, and I kind of have everything grouped off into the phases that this recipe is broken up into. So usually I weigh everything out in front of you in real time, so let me know if you like this method better. Everything is already pre-measured out. And so what I'm going to do is just move the ingredients off to the side that we're not going to be using right away, so I can break this up into phases and give you a good visual process, especially not to confuse people who've never made cosmetics or anything like that before. We're just going to talk about this step by step. So in these containers here, I have some beautiful powdered hibiscus flowers. All I did was take my hibiscus whole flower, I got this from Nature's Garden, and I ran it into a coffee grinder or a spice grinder until I got a very fine powder. You want to make sure you grind this up into a super fine, smooth powder. And then in this beaker here, I have some SCI, some sodium cocoyl isethionate. This is a beautiful plant-based surfactant made out of coconuts. So gentle. This is going to be your cleansing agent. It's going to provide the bulk of the bubbles and the foam in the recipe. And it's got a low pH. It's very gentle and it's sulfate free. This is a great surfactant to use for shampoos. And then in this little container here, I have some sodium lauryl sulfoacetate. Now, sodium lauryl sulfoacetate is another plant-based surfactant made from coconuts, and I know I've probably told some of you in the past that I don't like using this ingredient in shampoo. However, I have formulated a shampoo bar now with this ingredient that I really do like. I think what it really is for me is getting those ratios correct, and I think I was using too much of it before and I didn't like it. But in an attempt to make a beautiful sulfate-free shampoo bar that lathers up nicely, this is not to be confused with sodium lauryl sulfate, which is much harsher. All right, so we're going to go ahead and combine our surfactants. Now, when you're using solid surfactants that are powdered, and even this powdered hibiscus, you guys, can get irritating to the throat and the lungs and the airways. So make sure when you're using this before it gets dampened down with your wet ingredients that you are using a good dust mask. And trust me, it's not pleasant to get this into your lungs, and especially the sodium lauryl sulfoacetate, the SCI, it goes airborne super, super easily and is very, very easy to breathe in. So we're just going to go ahead and add in the hibiscus and the sodium lauryl sulfoacetate, and we're going to go ahead and mix this in with those SCI noodles until everything is kind of well combined. And you guys are going to see that the hibiscus flowers really give this formula a beautiful end color that is just perfectly natural and beautiful. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set this aside for just a minute, but now our solid surfactants and our hibiscus is all mixed in and ready to go. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead now and combine the ingredients up that are going to be heated. So this is our heated phase ingredients. And you want these ingredients to go into a beaker that's big enough to hold your entire recipe. And today we're making 200 grams. So here in this container, I have some BTMS 50. BTMS 50 is an emulsifier with great conditioning properties. So it's going to help to emulsify when the water touches your hair with the shampoo and the suds and everything, and it gets wet. This is going to help emulsify the water and the oils together and create beautiful rinse off properties. So the oils in this recipe are not going to stick to your hair. They're going to rinse off because of the BTMS 50, but it also has a beautiful rinse off feel. It feels silky and conditioning when you rinse it out of your hair. So we're going to go ahead and put the BTMS 50 into that beaker, and then in this little container here I have some cetyl alcohol. Cetyl alcohol is a beautiful ingredient for shampoo. It is a fatty alcohol that really has a silky, silky finish, and it feels very, very nice on the hair. So this, in combination with your BTMS 50, allows the shampoo, suds, and oil to cleanly and beautifully rinse out of your hair, but also leaving it feeling conditioned and silky. So we're going to go ahead and dump that in. And then the last thing we're going to be adding into this beaker is some liquid shea butter. Now, I got the liquid shea butter from Brambleberry. I've had it for a little bit of time now, but it's a liquid form of shea butter. Shea butter is a beautiful product to add to your hair care products because it really, really locks moisture into your hair, and that combined with the hibiscus is a really nice combination. So what we're going to be doing next is pouring our liquid shea butter into the cetyl alcohol and the BTMS 50. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and set this aside as well. So now we have our surfactants and we have our heated phase ingredients. We'll go ahead and set that aside. The next thing we're going to do here is combine a few other ingredients so that they're ready to go when we need them to be. This one over here I have set aside. This is our fragrance along with our preservative, and I'll be talking about this at the end, but we're going to just leave this aside. And then in this container here I have some DL Panthenol powdered, and this is a really nice ingredient. It's vitamin B. It's going to be providing your hair with that strengthening property from the vitamin B. It's a popular thing to add to your shampoos. And then in this container here, I have some cocamidopropyl betaine, also known as cocoa betaine, and it is a liquid surfactant that you find in lots of hair care, skin care, bubble bath. It adds beautiful foaming properties to your products, and it's very gentle. So we need to go ahead and combine these ingredients because it's going to help to dissolve down this powder. So I'm going to first just get that cocoa betaine in there. And then the next ingredient I'm going to be adding to my DL Panthenol powder is some hemp seed protein. Now, when you're making shampoos, you do want to add a little bit of protein, hydrolyzed proteins to it. It does help with the hair strengthening and can also help with refatting and conditioning. The hemp seed protein is good for hair strength. So we're going to add this in. It's a water-soluble ingredient. So what that's going to help us do is dissolve up the DL Panthenol, and then we're going to set this aside as well once this is all dissolved. Okay, our DL Panthenol is all dissolved down, and I'm just going to go ahead and set this aside. So I have our surfactants and hibiscus, I have the heated phase ingredients, and then I have the water and DL Panthenol here. So the next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and set this aside, and we're going to go ahead and heat up the heated phase ingredients. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to pop this into a saute pan with a few inches of water, and then I'm going to heat the water up until everything is melted down slowly. I'll bring you back when everything is melted down and we're ready to start combining phases. Alright, so my heated phase ingredients are now all melted down, and you just want to make sure you melt them down until they are clear. That BTMS 50 can get a little bit tricky to get melted down all the way, so just make sure it's clear and not setting up. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add my surfactants into that melted down oil phase. And I'm going to give it a good stir. And we are just wetting down the surfactants with the heated phase ingredients. And we're just making sure we get this all mixed in really well. Now that these are wetted down and damp, you can take your dust mask off. Those powdered ingredients won't go airborne now. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add in our cocoa betaine, our hemp seed protein, and that DL Panthenol. Now, this is going to help dissolve down some of that solid surfactant. So this is probably the trickiest part of this entire recipe. So now everything should look pretty well kind of wetted down. Now this is where usually I would like to use my bath bomb press, and then, you know, press this with really high intensity pressing and kind of squish those noodles and wet ingredients into a compacted little cube. However, I wanted to show you a different method so that you can make these without any fancy equipment. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this mixture, kind of looks, I don't know, you can see it now, like the little noodles in there and the powdered ingredients, and you're going to be popping this into the microwave at 20 to 30 second bursts, watching it super closely. Do it for a 20-second burst at first, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, this is after 20 seconds in the microwave, and now I'm just stirring it. As you can see, it's reduced it down a little bit. That cocoa betaine and the hemp seed protein are helping to act as a solvent for that solid surfactant. However, this will not become completely liquid. So what you want to do is get it to a kind of soupy and bubbly texture, which I'll show you in just a minute. And at this point, I like to add a little bit of water, maybe just like a teaspoon or so, pop it back in the microwave, and then I'll be right back. All right, so it has been just a little series of putting this in the microwave on 20-second bursts and adding maybe another 1 to 2 teaspoons of water until we kind of got this fluid, sticky looking situation. And now it's time to go ahead and add in the last part of this formula here, which is the preservative and also the fragrance oil. Now I'm using optiphen preservative here, and I am using that because we are using botanicals, and I don't want the botanicals, the hibiscus, to go moldy when people are mixing it with water in the shower. So we are going to go ahead and add in the fragrance that I'm using today is called Sweet Nectar and Hibiscus, and it's also from Brambleberry. So we're going to go ahead and add that in. We're going to give it a stir. You should have a semi-fluid formula at this point. Again, this is the trickiest part, and I don't want to pop it back into the microwave at this point because I don't want to kill off my preservative. So what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and pop it into, I'm going to plop in to these little, this little cavity mold here I have. This mold came from Crafter's Choice. I'm just going to kind of plop it into this mold. This is not the prettiest process, however, I think you're really going to like the end product after they get popped out of the mold. So you want to kind of work a little fast here because this formula does set up rather quickly. So I'm just scooping up bits of shampoo, paste, and getting it into the mold. Kind of making it rather full because we're going to be pressing this down a little bit in just a minute. And the color is just beautiful. You'll see too when they cure. And you don't have to worry about adding in the water, the couple teaspoons of water to this recipe, because the water does evaporate out as this bar sets up over about 1 to 2 days. So just go ahead and get it all mashed in. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and kind of press down the mixture. Now I'm going to show you a little trick on how to make this a little less sticky and messy. Okay, so I have a little bit of rubbing alcohol here, and I'm just going to go ahead and spritz the top with some rubbing alcohol to keep it from sticking. And I have a piece of cling wrap, and I'm just going to place the cling wrap over the top, and I'm pressing down my formula into the mold. And if you find that they're not totally full, your little cavities here after you're pushing everything down in, it just makes a little bit of an odd shaped shampoo bar when all is said and done. I'm actually going to pull some out of here, I think, and smash it into this one. But yes, all we're doing is just really compacting the formula into this mold and getting it nice and packed in. Okay, and like I said, this sets up fairly quickly. So what I'm going to do next is pop this mixture, pop the whole mold into the freezer for a half an hour, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to unmold. Okay, so I just popped these out of the freezer and they are totally set up now. As you can see, they've really lightened up in color. So they're ready to go ahead and remove from the mold. And there you go. There's the first shampoo bar. And they look rather rustic, but I actually don't mind that. I think they look really pretty as well. So they've got a nice rustic look to them. And I let these set up for about 24 hours before using them. But as you can see, they're already like really solid. I do let them set up and just let any excess water evaporate out of them. But they are ready to use within 24 hours. Aren't those beautiful? All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and show you how these work. I'll give you a lather demo. Okay, so I have been testing out and using one in the shower now for a little while. So I just went and grabbed this one. It's still a bit damp from my shower. So all you're gonna do is, usually if you're taking a shower, the way I like to do it anyway, is just to wet my hair really good and then get the shampoo bar a little bit wet as well. And then you can just work up a lather directly onto the crown of your head, or right above your forehead, and just work up a really good lather and then wash your hair like you normally would. I'm gonna show you how this lather is just in my hands today for purposes of this video. But as you can see, it just immediately starts to work up a beautiful, kind of lacy, iridescent looking lather. It's so pretty. And you're just gonna work up a good lather. And as you can see, that's perfect consistency for a shampoo. And it's absolutely gorgeous, smells good. It feels very, very silky and hydrating, and I love the slight pinkness of the lather because the hibiscus flower. So it's just a beautiful plant-based, sulfate-free shampoo bar, eco-friendly. I hope you really liked this video. I hope you try making these yourself. If you do, please let me know in the comments. All right, everybody, that concludes today's video. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. I hope I inspired you. If I did, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. Please leave a comment or question below. Please subscribe to my channel and share this video with a friend. All right, catch you on the next video. Bye.